What is going on, everyone? Trust the Buzz here. If you're new to the channel, I make Charlotte Hornets content. So if that interests you, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. If you cannot tell by the thumbnail title of this video, in today's video, we're going to be doing another mock draft. I actually take two because I actually did one of these already and I messed it up. The lighting wasn't right and it's still not right. I think my microphone's in the way. That does it a lot. That helps it a lot. But there was just a lot of stuff going wrong, and I end up not liking the video. So in this video, hopefully I get it right. But if you're new and you don't know what I do with these mock drafts, I basically go on tankathon.com and then I just have it simulate and I base it off what the results we get. So sometimes we get the 4th pick, sometimes we get the 3rd pick, sometimes we get the 8th pick. You know how it goes. I think the lowest the Hornets can drop right now is 8th. So it's just going to be fun. And I can only base it on what I see. I can't say, oh, San Antonio is not going to actually take Scoot or whatever. I have to base it on what is in front of me. So it's always fun. It's always random. It's also a way for me to show you different draft prospects. I know not everybody's into the NBA draft. Not everybody's into college basketball or anything like that. I am. So I'm your liaison from the draft to the Hornets. And so let's go ahead and get into it because I don't want to waste any more of your time. Let's go get into it. And the Charlotte Hornets fall to 7th. This is the lowest I think I've gotten. Even when I've recorded and not released it or whatever, this is the lowest I think I've gotten. But hey, I'm the GM here and I'm gonna make something work. So let's just go through who has already been drafted so we know who we cannot get. The Pacers jump up 7 spots and take up Victor Wembanyama. I will be sick, specifically because it's the Pacers jumping up 7 spots. Any team that jumps up more than 2 spots, I'm sick. Scoot Henderson to the Orlando Magic, that's sickening. There's no way that the 3 worst teams and then the 4th worst all just, I don't think that's going to happen. But in this case, it does. Let me know if you've ever got on Tankathon or any draft simulation that's happened because I don't think I've ever seen it. Brandon Miller would be a good fit because he can shoot, he can score. He is going to the Toronto Raptors. Jarace Walker going to the Detroit Pistons. Thompson, who would be really helpful for them, goes to the Houston Rockets. Thompson goes to the San Antonio Spurs, who, once again, I think would be a pretty good fit for them. I mean, I know they would probably rather have Scoot, but nothing wrong with Asar at all, especially when you fail from, I think 3rd to 6th. You'll take what you can get, especially considering he's a good player. And then the Hornets at 7. So Cam Whitmore is actually one of my favorite players in the draft. I know some people aren't too high on him, but for me, what I like about him is his motor and his physicality and his athleticism. I think he'll be a really good player for the Charlotte Hornets. I'm not going to click on it and show the stats and stuff because then it messes up the order. And I'm probably still going to end up doing it anyway because that's what I do. But I like Cam Whitmore. I think he's solid. I think he is a really good defender. Well, I wouldn't say really good defender, but he's a decent defender. Extremely athletic. Has shown the potential to be able to shoot. He's just another younger version of the person we're not going to talk about because we already know we're missing that person. So it would be interesting. I don't think the team would double back. And I will say that I will do 2 scenarios here just because I will pick someone that's underneath him, so it would make sense. But if the person we're talking about who's no longer on a team, who probably more than likely will come back on the team, comes back, there's no reason to get Cam Whitmore. There's just no reason. So if that were to happen, like I said, I would go with, you could look at Taylor Hendricks here. I think at UCF, I think he's a good player. You could also look at Nick Smith Jr., who is a good player. He just has not. I mean, he recently got benched in the game against Kansas because of a defensive lapse he had. I think for the sake of the video, if Miles Bridges, the person we're talking about, comes back, there's no reason to get Cam Whitmore. I would go Nick Smith Jr. I think I would go Nick Smith Jr. You could say trade this pick, but I've heard that with this pick being protected and then they get it, they can't trade it. I don't know if that's true, but I'm just basing off that because I don't want to mess it all up. It's easier to be safe than sorry. So with that all being said, I'm going Nick Smith Jr. No, but I've already chosen Nick Smith Jr. in a different mock draft. So, okay, scratch that. We'll go Taylor Hendricks because that's who it was between. It was between Nick Smith Jr. and Taylor Hendricks. The reason I don't want Anthony Black is just because I don't know exactly how he would fit next to LaMelo. I think he could. I just don't know if the Hornets are going to put enough around them for that backcourt to work. I mean, Anthony Black, nice size. I mean, he's like LaMelo's height. He plays defense. He knows how to use his weight when playing defense, guarding smaller guards. I just don't think he can be the perfect 2 next to LaMelo, and that's kind of the problem there. I mean, it could change for sure. I mean, once he gets into the NBA, but as of right now, I'm not quite sure. Grady Dick, I'm not a fan of Grady Dick for the Charlotte Hornets. I'm a fan of him overall if he goes to the right team, but specifically for the Charlotte Hornets, no. Keontae George, too inconsistent, too much of a Malik Monk, James Bouknight type player. I think he is better than them players. But just electric scoring and being very reliant on that is kind of what I meant. The same mold, maybe I should say. Taylor Hendricks overall, good defender. I think he is someone that can guard 1 through 4 pretty easily. If we were to lose PJ, I think he would be a good replacement. I mean, he's a decent shooter. Can I click this? Oh, I can open link in new tab. Let's do that. So we're going to open up in a new tab. And as you can see, he's a pretty good 3-point shooter. I was going to say it was 39%, but I was not sure. So I'm glad that we clicked this over to clear that up. As you see, he's a pretty good free throw shooter as well, which it always is a good sign. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean, but it's just a good sign. Like I said, great defender, 1.7 blocks per game with basically a steal per game. I just think overall he could be a really good player, a really good glue piece to go with LaMelo. So if you're someone where you're thinking we need to hit a home run, I don't think Taylor Hendricks would be the guy for you. But if you want someone who can be a good defender, who can help this team play winning basketball, I think that's your guy. And I mean, you're not getting too many franchise-changing guys, to be honest, outside of the first 2, maybe 3. Everybody else, really good player, probably could make some All-Stars. Will they be this extreme All-NBA player? That's where it's kind of like it gets a little iffy. I'm actually a big fan of Jarace Walker, and I think he could, but that's a topic for another day. So we're just going to go with Taylor Hendricks out of UCF. I think he's a good player. I think he can help us take the money we were going to use on PJ and use it somewhere else and continue building the roster. So let's go further down. I think the Hornets will have 27th pick, or maybe it changed it. 27th pick. They have us taking Dariq Whitehead. Let's see who's under. Marcus Sasser, Noah Clowney, Jaime Vasquez. I'm not too sold on any of these people, considering we already got Taylor Hendricks. I mean, I think you could take Dariq Whitehead here. I know he hasn't had the best season at Duke, but he showed signs. I mean, before they got bounced in the playoff or in the tournament by Tennessee. But I mean, he's shown signs. And he shot very well from 3 with Duke this year. He doesn't rebound that much. He's more of a scorer. He just didn't do much of that at Duke. It can get kind of iffy there. I'm just not completely sold on him. But as of like what we have right here, there's not really anybody I'm crazy about. I mean, you could also see Jalen Wilson, but consider we're about to have this next pick, I'll probably go Jalen Wilson here. Or I'm not going to go Julian Phillips or Julian Strawther from Gonzaga. I think that's another good pick. But as of right here, what's right here, considering Turk is already gone, Kobe Jones is already gone, Jordan Hawkins is already gone. I think I'm going to go Dariq Whitehead here because he has high upside. He's just extremely young, played at Duke. The ACC was just a mess this year, and it was first new coach. It was just a lot going on with Duke, not in a bad way, but just there was a lot going on for a guy to be already underage, I guess, in a way. It's just, I could see it. I can see the potential there. I can see him really helping out his team. I can see him he could definitely be an extreme scoring threat. He just got to find his groove. And at 27, and you're not trading up to get him or anything like that, I'm not mad at it. I'm more than willing to take this risk for a guy who's shown before he was at Duke that he could be a really great player for a team one day. So I'm not mad at that at all, especially considering we're picking again at 34. All right, so I think at 34, I'm going to go Julian Strawther. I think that he's not another young guy like we took before with Taylor Hendricks and Dariq Whitehead. He's an older guy. I mean, he's about to be 21 years old. He went to Gonzaga. All Gonzaga players come out and they at least have high IQ basketball players. That's usually what they are. So Adam Morrison. But anyway, now Adam Morrison, it was just way too early to draft him at 3. But anyway, Julian Strawther is a really good 3-point shooter. So I would not be mad at getting that. We need some shooters. I say it all the time. Hornets have guys that can shoot but are not shooters. He's definitely a shooter. He can rebound. He's not the ball handler you want him to be. But with LaMelo, you don't really need him to be that much of a ball handler or playmaker for that matter. Will be times, of course, when LaMelo's not on the floor. Who's going to run that position, considering Bryce McCown is not that much of a playmaker, and like I said, Julian Strawther, but you have Dennis Smith Jr., and we can have other guys as well. Next, we'll move on to the 43rd pick, and actually, I mean, at this point, these are trade candidates. I could really see us trading like a couple of these picks and then move even further up or move back into the first round or something. But for the 43rd and 47th pick, I mean, there's really not. I maybe go. I mean, would it hurt to go like 43? I would go Ricky Council a fourth. I think he's a really good player. Actually, I think he's someone that has brought a lot of draft hype to his name this year, playing at Arkansas, playing under Rick Musil. I think that he's a good attack. He can attack the basket, which is something Charlotte Hornets desperately need. I think he's extremely athletic. He can shoot a little bit, even though his shooting has not been the greatest. Arkansas' shooting altogether hasn't been the greatest, but I'm not mad at it with having a guy like this, pair him next to LaMelo, pair him next to Dennis Smith Jr. With LaMelo, he can play defense. And like I said, attack the basket. And then with Dennis Smith Jr., he can maybe stand in the corner, shoot a three, things like that. I mean, he does a lot of things, but what I like about him is his versatility with our 2-point guards. And I think that's going to be very important, moving on, playing into next season. At 47, I mean, we're really just picking here. I would probably go Dylan Mitchell, who has all the tools to be a really good defender. It's just that he really just sits in a dunker spot, can't shoot, kind of refuses to shoot. But overall, his defensive versatility is there. He really can guard anywhere. I've seen him get beat on plays because he made a mistake, but he's so quick, so agile, and so athletic. He's able to get back to his person and contest the shot, even block the shot sometimes. I think Dylan Mitchell, it can be a really good player. He was supposed to be a top 10 pick, but the offense never came around. So if you're at 47, I'm not mad if you take Dylan Mitchell at all whatsoever. It's just his shot needs to come around. And we have enough shooters as is, especially considering in this draft, I picked a lot of shooters. Just get a guy that can play defense, and that's what he's there for. We can get him, and I'm not mad at it at all. But anyway, that does it for this video. Let me know what you think of the mock draft. Let me know if there's someone I took that you wouldn't have taken. Let me know if there's someone that I missed out on. Let me know if you like all my picks. I know it's very rare, but this isn't exactly what's going to happen and anything like that. It's just based on the team right now, what I know right now. I know there's a lot of things with the owners and stuff going on, but what I know right now, this is what I would do. Like I said, let me know what you think down in the comment section below. And enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.